y'all, welcome back to the winning team. I'm Nakisha if you're new. Today I'm going to be talking about becoming a full-time content creator and what I wish I knew when I did that. That was about 5 to 6 years ago for me. So things were a lot different in the creator space than they are now. There's just a lot going on. What I would do now, things I wish I had known. Let's kind of just chat about it. So when I started about 5, 6 years ago, I just jumped out here on faith. I had no idea what I was doing, that I would ever even become full-time, because that wasn't my goal. My goal really was to just get out here and share my journey and connect with other moms that were in a similar space in life as me. So I really just got out here on some community stuff, right? It wasn't on no let's become a millionaire type of thing. Wasn't to get out here for the money, if I'm being honest. Now these days, let's keep it real, like social media and content creation is a whole business, okay? You have to be getting out here with your entrepreneur hat on, thinking about it in that way, in my opinion. But back when I started, I wasn't thinking about it like that. It was so different. This was in the blogging days where people wrote on their blogs just to kind of express themselves and share the things that they were doing and what they were, you know, going through in their lives and stuff like that. So it looked a lot different. And when I started, I was talking to a group of people, which was moms. And so that's what kind of my niche was. It was like the mom life thing. And that's what I did. If I had to do that over again, I honestly would still stick with that. Back then though, it was like blasphemy, okay? It was literally like blasphemy to say you're going to create content and not have a niche. But I wish that I would have looked at that a little bit differently, right? I wish I wouldn't have been so locked in on mom life, because if I'm being honest, it came a point to where I was like, I ain't really good sharing my kids. I ain't really good sharing, you know, what I be doing in my personal life anymore, you know. So I like wanted to switch that up, and I did successfully pivot that into talking about business, because people always ask me about it. Like, how did you start your content? How did you do this? You got 4 kids. What were you thinking? You just left your job? And so I kind of started to answer those questions, and it organically pivoted for me. But I wish that I would have went in with the mindset that, you know, I am the niche. I am Nakisha, you know, because I have other interests too, even outside of, you know, business right now. Look, I love a nice little blowout, okay? I'm trying to learn how to do makeup. I love a cute outfit. There are other things, you know, that I like to do and that I enjoy. And had I taken the lifestyle approach, I probably would have an entirely different brand right now. Entirely different brand. And while I love talking about business, I love this, I love helping you all get from point A to point B, it get a little boring, okay? It can get a little boring, it can get a little repetitious, especially because I'm not on social media right now. So had I thought about niche in a different way when I started, that is something that I would have done differently. And I implore you to think about differently as well. I do think it's essential to have a target audience that you want to talk to, right? So if I would have come out and I would have said, you know what, I'm going to talk to moms in business, it could have been different, because I could have talked about a host of things, right? So I definitely think that if you are just starting with your brand, definitely consider thinking about the niche thing a lot differently and approach it in a way to where you focus on a specific audience and not a specific topic for your content. I hope that makes sense. It is okay to talk about multiple different things, because we usually are multifaceted human beings, and it's okay to share different parts of who you are. I ain't saying give them all your business. Equipment. Oh, this was a big one for me. While I started on my, y'all, I promise it was probably an iPhone 3, doing a day in the life of a ship shopper, or come on a ship shop with me. Just because, for the sake of just getting the content out, I did understand that I wanted to just get the content out. But shortly after doing those first initial videos with my phone, I was so pressed to get a camera. So pressed to get a camera, because back then it was like, you know, the quality is important, which I still do think quality is important. But they're making phones now with cameras that are good enough to do your content. But back then it was like, oh no, I need the blurry background. I was like, the people with the blurry background have made it, so I'm gonna need a blurry background. So I went to go get me a camera. It wasn't nothing fancy at the time. I didn't know, right? This is just me wanting to be fancy and have a camera. I didn't know that the blurry background, the bokeh, had nothing to do with the camera, but everything to do with the lens, child. So honey, I bought a camera and still didn't have the blurry background that I wanted, like a mess, okay? So if I was approaching that now, like something I wish I knew that my cell phone camera was good enough, I could have just upgraded my phone. Like, girl, just upgrade your phone and use that camera on the phone instead of trying to be fancy to get something that you want and you don't even really know what you really need. Girl, do your research. Okay, so if you're starting today, know that you don't need a fancy camera. It's not necessary. You don't need a fancy camera. Honey, the cameras on these phones these days are getting so good that it's almost making the camera like, are you really necessary? Even though I still love my camera. I'm gonna love my camera, right? Because I love a good do multiple things at one time. Film for you this little YouTube video, film for something else. I love that. So I like my camera. But if you have anything current on the iPhone, anything, I think 14 is when they started, 13 and up, your camera's pretty good. They got cinematic mode that can give you the blurry background and everything, girl. I promise. All you need is your actual phone. Now, there are some accessories that I would recommend to have with your phone. If you're going to film on your phone, I think a portable light is essential. Just a tiny little light that you can clip on your phone just to get, you know, give yourself an extra little light as you're filming. Even sometimes maybe even a mic if you're filming outside. These wireless mics, I actually like the DJI mic. It's what I'm wearing now. That works really well, and they sell the little tiny mics also on Amazon that you can literally just plug into the bottom of the phone, because if you're out and about, you want your audio to be clear. People want to see you, but they want to hear you even more. Okay, we need to hear what you're saying, because like, yeah, you cute, we see you, but I need to know what you're saying. When I was starting, let me tell y'all something, and this is something I hear often too from my students. They often tell me like they're afraid to look at their analytics, and I can resonate with that so much, because when I first started, when you're out here creating the content, you're creating, and it's like, I'm giving this everything I got. You know, I was up to 2 o'clock doing this video. I told them everything I know about this topic, and you do put the video up and it doesn't do well, you be like, oh my goodness, right? So it's already just a press and a push through to get the content up when you're not getting the results that you expect from the content. And then you want me to go look at the analytics and see why it's so trash? Yeah, no. So they always talk to me about that, but I always push them to still look at the analytics, because if you look at the data and you follow the data and you look at the analytics, you will know why the video didn't do well. It's not that it's trash, boo, because I'm sure you gave out great information. Maybe the topic that you're talking about is just not popular for the platform that you put it on. Maybe how you set the video up. Maybe it's your thumbnail. Maybe it's a lot of things, right? That it could be. But if you look at the data, especially on YouTube gonna give you everything, okay? It's going to break it all the way down to the down. It's going to tell you, oh, baby, your intro was not it. They didn't like it. They only stayed on the video this long. Baby, you talk too much. It's going to give you all the things. I like YouTube for that. It really does break down the analytics. And I wish I had known that the analytics weren't there to hurt me and that they were actually my friend, even though they looked like an op. Okay, that's what I wish that I knew, because once I finally embrace the analytics and start looking at the analytics, I realized what I was doing wrong, what I needed to do better, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, and that's when my channel started to grow. If you haven't been around here very long, I actually got to monetization fairly quickly. I think 89 days, somewhere around 90 days, give or take. And I think it was because I finally decided to start going with the analytics, looking at the analytics, listening to the audience, which basically is the analytics, and start embracing that instead of being just scared of looking at them because the videos were not doing well. So following the analytics is something that I really wish I would have did earlier on. And if you are just starting now, do that. Okay, don't be afraid to look. It's going to tell you the topics that people are looking for from you, how, you know, what your retention time is, if you should make the video shorter and longer. It gives you so much. Don't be afraid to look at them. I know it can be discouraging in the beginning when you're just starting and you're just putting up videos, but look at your analytics and look for those moments that are good and continue to do those good things over and over again, because eventually those good things will become great and your videos will too. Now, this is a big one. This is a big one. I told y'all before that when I started, I was not thinking about monetization at all. Like, she wasn't thinking about monetization. I was on here just trying to build community. That's what I was doing. I was just like, oh my gosh, she's a single mom too. Let's talk. Let's be friends. Right? And I wasn't thinking about monetization at all. Definitely wouldn't do that today. I didn't know what I was doing, but that's the thing. I was just out here. If I had known better, I would have done affiliate marketing a lot sooner. That is the monetization method that I think any person, any beginner could start with and actually make sense, and you not feel greasy and sleazy about it, because it's like you're just telling people about products that you know, like, and love, right? So like, you know, girl, yes, I use this on my hair today, or this is the lip combo, or this. You get to tell people about things that you're authentically interested in, but also get a kickback, get a commission on those products if they go and buy it. So that is something I wish I would have discovered sooner, is figuring out how to monetize my content and knew about affiliate marketing, because that is where I would start if I was starting today. And back then, I still think affiliate marketing is an amazing way to monetize your content, especially in this age of limited brand deals for certain people. Now, some people out here still getting it, right? But the scope of how brand deals are done are so different, and I don't think it's a good strategy to completely depend on that or be out here posting on social media for the sake of a brand seeing you and possibly one day giving you a check. No, ma'am. So you just gonna sit around and not make no money until that happens? Yeah, I don't like that strategy at all, and I would not do that again, because that is what I did in the beginning, because brand deals were all the rage. Like, oh, got a brand deal. Oh, she got a brand deal. Oh, click the link and buy it. Oh, brand deal. That was like the thing to do. So then you find yourself, you're out here and you're just posting for the sake of getting likes and views for a brand to potentially see you and give you a brand deal. Yeah, it's a no for me. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. So yeah, monetization is something that I would do very differently. Honestly, this is the biggest. Okay, this is probably the biggest. When it comes to scaling, okay, when it comes to scaling your business and moving from, okay, I'm making a little coinage, to, okay, now I got a little cash. That cash done turned into a check. That check done turned into a bag. Okay, but in order for that to happen, in order to scale in that manner, usually you need help to do that. You need a team to do that. But I think it's important to know what your scaling is going to look like for you, right? Are you okay as a solo team? Are you okay with just one person helping? Are you okay at that $250,000 mark if that's what you get hit by yourself? Are you okay with that? Or do you want to scale beyond that, right? Because hiring is hard. I have not had a great experience with it. I haven't. And let me rephrase that. Hiring is not hard, because people put on for the city, okay? They put all the effort into the sales pitch, okay? The sales pitch is everything, but the work is bare minimum. And this has been multiple times I have experienced this, even with hiring agencies. Okay, the one-on-one method, I was like, okay, that didn't work. You know, hiring, maybe I'm just not good at this. Let me go the agency route. We're just gonna leave that there. I'll just say finding good help can be difficult, and I think it's essential though to kind of set a boundary for yourself. Like, what can I do with just me? Can I do 100,000, 250, whatever it is? What is your max that you can do by yourself? And are you okay with that? Or do you need to get to the point to where you scale that out? You know, to you where do you want to scale beyond that? And what do you have to do? Who do you have to hire in order to do that? I wish I had thought about that sooner and understood that concept sooner, because I have learned a lot about myself and a lot about business and how I like to do things and all that. I wish I had thought about that part of it sooner, because these are the things that people do not get out here and share online and talk about, and all the things. Yeah, people not sharing the real deal of the real get to the bag real. Okay, they're not. And so I wish I had thought about that and known about that sooner. Another thing that I wish I would have known then is that you are enough. I am enough. When I got online, it felt like, okay, y'all know, I tell this story all the time. When I got on YouTube, right, I thought that I had to come on here and be a Channel 4 news anchor and give you the corporate version of myself, right? And when I look back on these videos, it is so cringe. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, please. I wish I knew that I was enough. Just the regular me was enough, right? But thinking back on it, you're in your mind. So if you're new, just a piece of advice, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, okay, this is a person that, you know, is doing well. She seems to be this way and very buttoned up and very whatever, or she seems to be whatever you see success as in your mind. And you're thinking, okay, let me present that version of myself. It's not like being, you know, fake. It's just giving a different side of you, because again, we're all multifaceted, and I do have a very corporate side of myself, but then there is, you know, Keisha from the block side. And so I wish back then that I had known that, look, just get on here and do you and be you, and it's gonna give what it's gonna give, and they gonna like it or they not. And let's keep it pushing, because once you really be the real you, that's when you find your real people, and your real people find you, and you really can scale and, you know, get to the places that you want to get in your business, because you actually find your tribe, right? For being just yourself and who you are without all the, you know, all the extra. But those are the things that I wish I had known when I started, that I do know now. Those are that's how I would do it differently, and how I would recommend that you do it differently if you're looking to become a full-time content creator, especially in 2024. It's a whole different ball game, and I do think it's important to approach it very differently than we used to back in the day. Things are changing. Platforms are changing. Brands are changing. All the things are changing. So if you want to know more about making money as a content creator, okay, do you want to make money? Because I know you ain't out here doing this for free. Check out this video right here. I go deep and in depth on the multiple ways that you can make money with your content.